to another edition of what we're going to be calling 10 Men's with Friends, where we just take a really quick 10-minute video to dive into the life and hobbies and passions of people that call redemption home. Today, you have the great opportunity to dive into the life of a dear friend of mine, Miss Monique, and she's going to be sharing really a passion and hobby of hers that maybe will inspire you right where you are. So let's sit back, relax, and get encouraged this morning. Let's do it.
Thanks. Hi guys. Like you said, my name is Monique. For those of you who don't know me, I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about fitness. Not because I'm a fitness guru by any stretch of the imagination. It's just because I have a passion for it. Because when I was in my 20s, I was unhealthy and I had to make changes in order to have a healthier lifestyle. So, with that being said, I adjusted and learned about how to eat better, how to work out, what's the best way to get to that healthier lifestyle. And a side effect of that was that I lost a lot of weight. I used to weigh 242 pounds at one point, and I lost over 70 pounds with just adjusting my lifestyle. No medications, no magic pill, no surgeries or anything of that nature, just committing to living healthier. And like I said, the weight loss was just the side effect. I realized when I did my research that there's only a few ways that you can be healthy, really, or and lose weight at the end of the day. Is you either count every calorie you put in your mouth or you burn off more than you put in. I personally am an eater. I like food, so I chose to burn more than I put in. And I figured out what creates someone who is fit. Well, there's three parts to it: cardiovascular fitness, then there is strength training, and lastly, there's flexibility. You have to have all three parts to actually be a fit person. Um, there's Now that we're in this coronavirus and things like that, I think people get discouraged that, well, how do I work out because I can't go to a gym, I can't do this. I'm going to show you some things that you can do at home and some ways that you can implement a healthier lifestyle, and then as a result, maybe get that side effect of weight loss. Starting with the first component, cardiovascular health. The heart's a muscle. It has to be worked like just any other muscle in our body. If you don't work it, it's going to become fatty and lazy, and it's not going to work properly. So the way you work your heart is by getting your heart rate up. I'm not going to give you a magic number and say you got to hit 160 beats per minute or 180, because quite frankly, fitness and health is different for every single person. What I will tell you is the benchmark you want to go for is, if you're working on your heart, get your heart up to a point where you can't talk very easily. Maybe you can get 2 or 3 words out at a time. That lets you know you're hitting that beats per minute that you need to be at. You can do lots of different things to get cardiovascularly fit. Running. I don't like to run, but since I like to eat, I do run. Also, swimming is a really good cardiovascular exercise. Biking, those are all things that you can do that will get that heart rate up if you exert enough energy when you're doing it. Even walking can help you with your cardiovascular health, but it needs to be a very strenuous, very focused walk. You can't have a leisure, kind of like I'm out walking my dog, drinking a cup of coffee. It's got to be really opening that stride up and really pushing yourself to another level when you're going to do it for just walking. But some things that you can do at home to get your heart rate up is, one of the ones that you'll hear a lot about is high intensity interval training, or HIIT training. You'll hear you can do different types of exercises in short bursts of time and then have a rest period. Usually they'll have 40 to 45 seconds of exercise and 15 to 20 seconds of rest. Some of the things that you can incorporate with that would be high knees, jump squats, jump lunges, jumping jacks, even push-ups can get your heart rate up depending on your level of fitness. So those are all things that you can work into that HIIT training. You don't need equipment at home. You don't need anything special. You don't have to have a gym. You do jumping jacks for 40 seconds and then you rest for 20 seconds. Then you switch and do jump lunges for 20 seconds and 40 seconds and then rest for 20 seconds. Then you switch to another exercise. If you do, say for instance, a circuit where you have 5 different exercises that you do 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, and you do that circuit for 3 to 4 times, you are going to see a difference in your cardiovascular health by far. And don't feel bad if the first time that you do it, you can only get through the circuit once. That's okay. It doesn't mean you're not working as hard as the person who does it 5 times. It just means that your fitness level is at a different place, but you're probably burning more calories than the person who can do it the 5 times in a row. So that's one way that you can do cardiovascular fitness right in your home. You don't need to do anything special. Second part, like I said, is your strength training. People, again, they get confused and think, well, I got to go to the gym and get around the muscle guys that are grunting and patting their chest, and the ladies too that are doing that, but not necessary. You can squat with jugs of water in your hands. You can do curls with jugs of water. You can curl cans of corn. Those are all, it's still going to add weight, and it's going to allow you, if you use proper form and you do enough of them, you will build strength. Okay. Like I said, there's also some body weight things that you can do that require zero equipment. If you do proper squats, and I say proper because when you are trying to build muscle, you want to make sure you're using proper form. That's going to allow you to build muscle a lot better. Proper squats, proper lunges. A lot of the things that you can do for cardiovascular fitness, you can also incorporate in strength training. It just means that you slow them down and you are focused on that form to ensure that you're doing it absolutely correctly and holding that movement to allow that muscle to engage. You can do push-ups, sit-ups. Any of those things are going to build strength over time by using just your body weight and no special equipment. The last portion of the fitness, I would say, triangle that you've got to fill out would be flexibility. This is probably the most neglected part of fitness because people will go to the gym and they'll lift weights. They'll go to the gym and they will do that aerobic fitness, and they will in turn do skip out on the flexibility portion of it, and they'll say, well, I got to get home and cook dinner, or I got to go and pick the kids up, or something of that nature, instead of focusing on taking that time to stretch those muscles while they're warm. We tend to want to jump into the flexibility portion and do lots of stretching before we get started, thinking, oh, that's going to make sure that, my body's ready to go. No, our muscles are cold at that point. So that's not the best time for us to do our stretching. In fact, I suggest when you're going to stretch prior to doing an exercise, it's going to be more along the lines of prepping your muscles for what you're going to be doing. It's more dynamic stretching. Once you've done the exercises and you've warmed those muscles up, that's when you really want to focus in and do the more the stretches where you're holding the muscle in a position so that it can have that time, those fibers to kind of unravel and stretch out and give you that good stretch at that point. Make sure that when you're stretching, we start from our head, go all the way to our toes. Don't neglect muscles like our neck. That's where, as adults, we hold lots of stress in this area because we're always worried about bills, and we're worried about feeding the kids, and we're worried about dinner and schedules and all those things like that. And all that tension slowly builds up, and all of a sudden, your shoulders are like this. Want to make sure that we relax the necks, relax our shoulders, work those muscles out first, then move down and work the chest, back, and our ab area. This is what carries our body all day long. We want to make sure that it's nice and strong and stretched out. Moving down, hip flexors, especially, not to knock, one way or the other, but women, our hip flexors get really tight from childbirth and carrying kids and just in general. Make sure we stretch those out because that can throw off our backs. It can throw off our posture, all kinds of things. So hip flexors, move down to your quads, stretch those out. Hamstrings, don't neglect those. We tend to focus in on this part of our bodies and we forget the back sides of our bodies. Stretch that out very well. I can tell you, personal experience, my hamstrings are just naturally very tight. I neglected them for a number of years and now I'm paying for it. And then all the way down to our feet. We have our plantar, the tendon, the fascia that runs along the bottom of our feet. We want to make sure we stretch that out nice and good and even rotate the ankles and work those very well. So having done that all the way through, if you do all three of those components of your exercise or your fitness triangle, you will be healthier. Your body will move better. You will feel stronger. Your heart will work better. And you may lose weight. That can just be a side effect. Again, we're looking for a healthy lifestyle. Weight loss is just the side effect to that. So hopefully that inspires you guys to do something new and different and go out there and have fun.
Excellent. Well, not so good. I mean, I didn't even know there was, a fitness triangle and things that you needed to do. And so we are almost out of time, but if you want to stay tuned, she is going to put me through the ringer. We're going to do some practical exercises like the ones that she talked about this morning, and I'm going to be the guinea pig. So you're like, man, if Pastor Matt can do it, then I definitely can do it. And so if you want to stay tuned for that, please feel free to do so. If not, then God bless you, and we'll see you again for another 10 Minutes with Friends. Take care, guys.
All right, guys, we are back now. We went through a lot of information in that first little segment, and now we want to do some demo stuff so you know when you're at home how to properly do this so you can jump right in there with us. So I don't even know what to say here, but he's ready to go. So first thing we're going to talk about is the HIIT training again. Like I said, the high intensity interval training. You can take 4 or 5 exercises, put them together, do it for 40 seconds, rest for 20. So some exercises that'll get that cardiovascular muscle working are jump squats.
All right.
You're gonna get into your position, your feet will be about shoulder width apart. Make sure that when you do that squat, you wanna knees are gonna stay behind your toes. So you're gonna push that butt straight back. When you get to a certain point where you can't go any further, then you're gonna come up, explode off those toes.
Perfect.
That's gonna be your jump squat. And you would do that for 40 seconds. And then you would rest for 20 seconds, okay? The other one would be our jump lunges. Again, this is gonna be your lunge where you wanna be when you do it. So knee is gonna be on top of your ankle, not in front of your toes, and you're going to be switching back and forth like this, basically. But again, you'll be exploding off those toes when you do it. So start standing, and then it's lunge, 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 lunge. Do that for 40 seconds, off for 20 seconds. Another one, jumping jacks. You know how to do a jumping jack.
Jumping
right?
jack, yes.
Demo it for us, sir. Perfect. 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. I promise you your heart rate will get up. Whew. You're up there already?
Done.
Good. And the last one would be another one that we can do is a burpee. This is a full body exercise. It's going to work everything. Do you know how to do a burpee?
I don't. I'm ready to learn right now.
All right. So a burpee, you're going to start standing.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to go down here. You can increase and decrease your intensity level. Come down to a push-up, back up, jump, and up.
All right, you want me to try it?
Sure.
Are you ready? There we go.
All right.
So down.
Down, hands, there you go. And then up. See, he upped the intensity a little bit by jumping down into that push-up position.
Will not do that again. So like that.
40 seconds on of that, 20 seconds off. Probably about 10 seconds into doing a burpee, you'll be, and that's okay. That's okay. You might slow down and have to rest kind of in between, but you just kind of stay with it. That's gonna get that cardio up. You feel it?
I feel it getting it in there.
Nice. So, next part we talked about was the strength training, some of the things that we can do with our body weight that we don't have to have any special equipment for. A lot of the things that we do on the cardiovascular side can also translate to strength training. You just slow down, like I said.
Okay.
Like the squat, for instance. I want to focus in on this because sometimes people will do squats wrong. You'll see people squatting like this. Knees are coming in front of the toes. You will hurt your knees over time doing that. So the proper way to do them, again, knees or feet are going to be about shoulder width apart. Knees are going to sit right on top of those ankles, and you're going to sit down like you're sitting in a chair, like you're getting ready to put your butt in a chair. You're going to keep your chest up nice and high. You don't want to do this because we're not bending. We're doing a squat. We want to feel it in our legs. You're going to come down as low as you can go and then back up. If this is where you are at, that's fine. You're still getting a workout. If you can push it a little bit further, then push it a little bit further, okay? But when you get there, the other way you can build strength is you hold. Hold it there for a second. 3, 2, 1, and then come up. Feeling it kind of burn?
I hate that.
That's a good thing.
I mean, I love that. This is great. So exciting.
Lunges again, setting them up properly. You're gonna be in your good lunge position. Knee is gonna be over your ankle, not in front of your toes. This leg, your back leg, should just be for stability. The work should be occurring in the glute here that you're actually bearing the weight on. You're gonna squat it down. Again, if you wanna really feel the burn, you hold it. Hold. Keep the chest nice and high, and then you come back up. And then down. This also works balance, which is really good. And it stretches the hip flexors all at the same time.
Like this. Does that help?
It does. So that's another one of our strength training exercises. Push-ups, that's a great strength trainer. It works chest, shoulders, back, depending on how you do the grip. You can do close grip push-ups, you can do right at your shoulders, or even wide grip. Whichever one you do will work different parts of that upper body, okay? You get in your push-up position, and you come all the way down, all the way up.
Just like that, huh?
Just like that.
So go here.
Very good. Nice work. Do enough of those. I happen to be doing all the talking, so.
If you want to see a push-up competition between us two, put it in the comments right now and we will make it happen. Put it in the comments and we will do a push-up competition and an ab crunch competition. I don't even know what that is, but we're going to do it. Put it in the comments right now.
Put it in
what
there.
else you got for us before we go?
I'm good. So we did squats, we did lunges, we did push-ups. Those are all going to be some of your strength training exercises. And the big thing, like I said, form is everything. If you have good form, you'll build good muscles. Last part is the flexibility part. Remember, you work head to toe. Don't neglect the neck. Just take a little time to kind of move the neck around, rock it up and down, shaking your head yes, shake your head no. That's going to release all that tension kind of in the neck. Roll it around in a circle. Once you've done that, move to the shoulders. Remember, roll those shoulders. It's a really exaggerated movement. You're going to bring your shoulders all the way up like you're trying to touch your ears. Squeeze those shoulder blades back, and then in retrospect, you collapse that chest in. Kind of roll it all the way around. That's going to free up all that tension out of your shoulders. Another way you can stretch the shoulder, bring the arm across the chest. You don't want to squeeze too much, just enough where you can feel it. Make sure this isn't kind of creeping up on you too. Sink that shoulder down in there so you can feel the stretch in there. And the other part is, if you do one side, do the other. Don't cheat yourself and just stretch out one side, okay? Moving into this part of our bodies that encompasses our abs, back, and chest. That's what carries us around. Make sure we don't neglect it. Get that good stretch. Grab your hands like this, and you're gonna push that chest out. Stretch that chest out and squeeze those shoulder blades. Again, in opposition, give yourself a good hug and kind of roll it back and forth. That's gonna stretch all that out, like that. All right? Perfect. Moving down, hip flexors, quads. Again, this works on balance as well, but you find your balance, grab your foot. There's a lot of different ways that people say you can work on your balance. I personally just find a fixed object and stare at it. Some people have to put their hands up. I've also heard people say, touch your belly button. I don't really know, it distracts you and I guess it keeps you from falling over. But this stretch here will stretch out that hip flexor as well as the quadricep. If you're super flexible, when you grab here, if you're not really feeling it, you can bend at the waist, and that will also increase. It's actually a yoga pose called dancer.
What if I wanted to grab both of them at the same time?
If you can do that, get it.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Hamstrings, again, you're gonna take a step where you're almost like walking, rock that front toe up, and then sink that butt straight back. Ooh. You should feel it in the back of your legs. If you have super tight hamstrings, you'll feel it a lot sooner. That's okay. Like I said, I'm very tight in the hamstrings, but again, both sides. If you stretch one side, stretch the other, and if you're gonna put weight, if you need to kind of rest on yourself, use it on the planted leg. Don't stretch on this one. Don't put your weight on that leg. And then lastly, don't neglect your feet. Take that second, just like with the neck, roll them around, stretch them out, get that fascia all stretched out. If you have problems with plantar fasciitis, it's very important that we don't neglect our feet because we will pay for it later. All right, that's it.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Wasn't that so good, guys? Take these steps that we learned today, apply them at home. I bet 10 minutes a day just doing some of these things, you'll notice a difference within 7 days, at your house, just how your body feels, your heart muscle, your strength training, your endurance and flexibility. So take these steps right where you're at. Be encouraged to, take control of your health and your fitness because it's literally in your hands. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.